What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Run It Up. Today we are playing two tables, a 50-cent dollar and a 25-cent 50-cent table on ultimatepoker.com. I'm going to be calling this guy because we have top pair on the flop, which I guess now isn't top pair, but who needs it? Who needs it? I mean, he'd have $1 left on the turn. He actually limp called pre, and then I bet flop, pretty much putting him all in, and they turned an ace for the last $1. Couldn't fold, getting 8.5 to 1 with second pair, and we needed some help, and help is what we got. So started out today with $801.09. As you guys at this point, I guess, are aware of yesterday's shenanigans. I'm sorry about I tried using a different setup and it wasn't powerful enough, and I apologize for any stress that came out of that video being less than perfect, but hopefully everything was great and you guys still enjoyed it, because I had a fun time yesterday, and hopefully you guys did as well. So let me tell you guys about what's going on here. I've been playing both tables now for about 5 minutes or so, nothing really too crazy. I'm in for the right table for $50, and I'm in for the left table for $25. So these are both nine-handed tables, and on Ultimate, that means the max buy-in is 50 big blinds. So we're in for 25 here and 50 here. I'm going to be playing some two-table action, I think, for the remainder of, not just for the remainder, but yeah, for the entire session today and tomorrow, at least. I thought about betting on this turn here, but I kind of felt like anything he calls with on the flop is probably going to call on the turn as well. I mean, not everything, but if he has like 9-10, Jack-10, King-Jack, Ace-Jack, Ace-9, Queen-10, 10-8, I mean, you know, all those hands are not folding on this turn card. I think the queen hits them pretty hard. So I checked back, tried to hit a pair or a heart, and didn't hit it. And I think now we just fold and don't ask any more questions. On the right table here, Donkey Sniper, who I don't recognize, but did say hello to me in chat and seems like a Run It Up fan. He raised and we called him the small blind with Queen 10 offsuit. Now, at this point, we could peel. But I kind of feel like with 30 big blind stacks, you know, there's not really a ton of scary turn cards for us. You know, we hit a queen or a 10, that would be cool, but I don't really know how many outs we hit besides that. So I raised this hand up here on the left and got called by Mr. Beaumont in the big blind over there, who I believe is also a run-it-up warrior. I'm going to start out by betting one singular $1. That's right, just just $1. That's all. He read it perfectly. Perfect run up. The run if that is who I think it is. Yes. Hold on, Jason. Must be. I was just thinking if that was. I was just thinking about that. So yeah. So if only bet 101, then we would maybe have got him to call. On this right table here, I fired out on the flop with our gut shot. We turn actually a double gut shot with our 5-high. That's kind of cool. So we could try to river a 7 or a 3. That would be plan number A. Or we could try to do something aggressive here. Just fire it in there, raise it up, something like that, you know. But what are the kinds of hands that this guy has that he would call out of the small blind and bet out into two people here on the turn that would also call on the flop, you know? I don't think there are too many hands that are just like nothing, right? I mean, that seems kind of ambitious. So we could call, but I don't really love calling here with, you know, we do have not like he has 5-7 or 7-9 too often, or like 9-10 or diamonds for that matter. But we do once in a while run in spots where I guess we're dominated, but you know, I'm not really worried about that. I just don't think we have a really good price. We're not that deep, you know. I mean, he bet a lot on the turn. It seems to me like he probably doesn't have nothing. So putting all those things together made me feel like it was a fold. Off to the next hand here, raise it up with 2 8s. I almost said 2 red 8s, but the red card is all we really needed. I could bet on this flop. I think that would be a okay thing to do. We would get ourselves position. We might get him to fold hands like, you know, black ace 9. You know, some hands have a lot of equity against us that will only continue if they make pairs. I think if we start out with a bet, maybe we get ourselves to let our opponents make mistakes. So at this point, I feel like he could be check raising us either with a made flush, set, a 2-pair, could be just a singular heart. You know, all those things obviously are bad for us. He could also have, what else could he have? He could just have like black king 10, you know, but probably that hand probably just calls, right? So he probably doesn't have anything. I think we're going to actually end up folding here. I was pretty sure I was going to call, but I actually feel like on second thought that he probably has us just too badly beat there. If we had checked and he had probably checked back, then, you know, the whole hand would have played differently. But I think once we bet flop and he check raises to 3x again with the stacks as they are, he's not too often going to just be shutting down on turns. So I think that's okay there. Great spot for us here with King Queen. This is just rapid fire poker. They're just coming left and right. I'm glad we loaded up the guns for this one. So going to be raising this up for straight up value. You know, King Queen is going to be a pretty good hand. I think that I feel like the plan is if we get a singular caller, then we just play post flop. We're probably betting on the majority of flops, and if we win pre flop, then there's just that. Not the best flop for us, but certainly seems okay. I'm going to start with a bet around, like, I think half pot seems fine. $11, $12. And if he raises here, we just fold. We make mistakes against exactly, like, 6-7 and 7-8, you know, 4-6. We make mistakes against those hands because we have the proper equity against those. But against everything else, you know, we're not really making too bad of a mistake. Like, this is effectively a shove for 40. So we're getting, you know, we're not getting an amazing price to continue here. So I guess we're just folding, as sad beans as that is there for us. You know, I mean, we could have check called, but that just seems bad. He's going to fold hands like ace tens, and, you know, he'll fold some ace highs there often enough that I think we're okay with firing. So we're about even over both tables. We're in for this one for 25 and we're in for this one for 50. So stuck 10, up 10, just about even for the time being. Going to complete on the right table with the queen and the 3. Getting 3-1, even though we're out of position, I feel like we'll do okay there. Pretty good flop for us, all things considered. You know, I mean, we're pretty likely to have the best hand here. We also have a 3 royal. Hello. That's hashtag optimism right there for you. That's what that is. We have the exact same spot, betting $1 against our opponent on a paired board. Same opponent. Let's see what happens here. He calls both. Okay. Deuce on both turn cards. Well, this is very convenient, at least. They're very similar spots. I think I'm going to actually check back here. I think he's never folding if he has better than tens and deuces with an ace kicker. Over here, I feel like we could try to bet again. I think this is more likely a spot where he might be able to fold like king high hand, a better queen high hand. He actually calls us with worse sometimes. He has, you know, diamonds or something like that, and I guess I'm going to have to pay this off over there. All right, that works, and I guess we're folding over here as well. So, okay, all right, I guess the paired board challenge didn't work out too well for us. Could open this hand, but I feel like we'll just fold it for the time being. A little on the tight side, but I think it's okay. So, how do we want to adjust to this player, given that we just lost to both to him in both of those spots? Was there anything we could have done differently there? I mean, the queen 3 was just a bet. You know, I don't really believe him that he really had anything on the turn there, so I guess I could have been stubborn and either called or raised when he 3-bets us on the turn. And on this one, on the 10-10 deuce board, we bet flop, check back turn, and then called river, which I feel like is probably at least okay, at least arguably okay, but maybe we could have arguably folded that river as well. This is an interesting flop for us. We have a 3 straight and 2 overcards to second pair, so I actually would have heavily considered check raising here if our opponent had bet. Given that he checks, though, I actually feel like we could either try to bet and see if we can get him to fold by the river or check. I think both seem okay. I think I actually prefer betting here. Maybe I could have bet even a little bit bigger, like 250, you know what I mean? We're going to have a whole bunch of hands here that are connected to some way. I mean, deuce river, if he has anything that he was calling with on the turn, I don't think he's folding on the river now. We actually do win sometimes. We beat, like, you know, 7-4, 7-8, queen 9. So, nice. That's it. Optimism. Hashtag optimism. That's right. Yeah, so that was good there. Over on the right table, defended with ace 4 offsuit in the big blind to a min raise. Seems all right to me. Flop to bottom pair. So in this spot, we either could check raise or check call. Don't think folding is in the cards. Gonna bet out on this turn here. $2 seems fine. I mean, once again, we get value owned. We value cut ourselves here when he has like 7s or, you know, 5s. Those hands would play similarly. But I think he has a hand like ace 10 or queen 9. You know, like one of those like marginal-ish kind of gut shots there pretty often. So I'm gonna check this river, and if he bets, I'm probably going to call. Because if he has a hand like 7s, those hands are probably not betting at this point. Like, that's a pretty high level bet to make. He could have a hand like king 10 or like jack, ace jack that check back flop and then won the rest of the money this way. But getting 3-1 on the river here, I feel pretty confident that we're going to show a profit. Although, you know, I don't think it's like a slam dunk, super slam to the bank, you know. King 10 makes a lot of sense. So if he had just bet flop, he would have actually made significantly more money in this exact hand, because we would have check raised flop, as I was saying, or at least check called flop. But we would have probably, I was planning to check raise flop, so we would have ended up check raising flop, and then, You know, oh yeah, 420 for the stoners, and I'm gonna raise it up over on this table as well. 6 seems fine. I'm not gonna fold these 2 8s here. If we have to get it in pre, we have to get it in pre. I'm okay with that. With the amount of big blinds we have, given that we're 4-handed. You know, I don't love it, but I feel like we'll get it in crushingly good sometimes. We get it in crushingly bad sometimes, of course, and then most of the time we're just flipping. Let's see what happens this time. You also could call and go from there, but I think this is okay. Let's see him. Fair fight. Oh, not so fair anymore. On this table here, I raised up with King 9. Oh, he has outs. 10 or a queen. Oh, not this time. I think we just fold here. I mean, it seems really close, actually. It seems actually really close. I'm actually not sure what the correct math... Boom. I'm not sure, actually, how I feel about that. Maybe we could have continued there. I love continuing, as you guys know, so I always try to find reasons to continue. Maybe that one would have been a little too ambitious to call, but we're getting 2-1 in position, so it can't be too bad, you know? Always trying to find spots to not fold. Over here on the right table, I raised it up to $4. This guy posted. Pretty good flop for us, all things considered. I feel like if he had ace-king, he would have re-raised pre-flop. So we lose to like queen-jack and, king-queen and words are hard. King-queen, pocket fours, pocket deuces. That's about it. I decided to check here for trickiness purposes because I feel like, you know, with $26, he can make some pretty bad mistakes here, I think, and we can just like somehow check raise all in or something like that. Ooh, and then he just insta min raises us on the turn. Now, it's possible this guy has king 9, 9, 9, 4s, you know, it's very possible, but he did insta min raise me on turn, and if he somehow has us beat while we're being tricky with 30 big blinds, he just deserves it. So I'm going to call here on the turn, no matter what the river is, especially on that river though. No matter what the river is, my plan was to check call, so that is what I'm going to continue to do here. Don't see any reason to bet ourselves, give him a chance to bluff if he just had clubs, something like that. So now the question is, do we just call or do we raise? And I feel like the only hand we lose to here is like 4-4, deuce-deuce, 9-9, and queen 10, right? Everything else doesn't really make a ton of sense. They would have either re-raised pre-flop or something like that. So I feel very comfortable check raising all in here. He's going to call us with king 9, king 4. Sometimes he'll just fold, not see our hand, which is kind of cool. On the left table, our opponent limped in the small blind. We raised in the big blind. We bet on the flop. Our opponent called. Now here we are on the turn. This is a pretty good turn card for us because if he has a hand that isn't a pair of aces or better, I feel like he's likely to just fold right here and now, which would be sweet with me because we probably don't have the best hand, although we definitely could. When he calls twice here, I think that he too often is going to have ace high himself and now have river trips, or he has some other connectivity to the board. We do have the king of spades, which is worse for us slightly because, you know, it makes them a little less likely to have spades or, you know, king high or something like that. So I think we're going to just check this back. We beat once in a while. We actually win here against like low spades or 5-6, something like that. But don't think he's folding a hand as good as any jack or any ace there on the river. And I think we had to play the hand the way we did. He limped. We raised for pretty much value in position with king 7. He actually had a worse hand pre-flop, so he made a little bit of money pre-flop. On the flop, he check fold sometimes. He didn't that time. And then turn, we had the ace, which was good enough to keep betting. And by the river, I think we made the right decision to just give up. So this guy is $29. I think ace queen is gonna favor to be the best hand here, often enough that I feel like raising here and just not folding is going to be okay. He has a pot-sized bet behind, so no matter what comes, I'm not going to plan on folding. I mean, you know, he obviously could have us just crushed and drawing dead, but I feel pretty good about betting 11 and calling it off if he decides to put in his last $9 beyond that. We do pick up that pot there. Nice. Stacks are synergizing. That's right. Synergizing stacks. Hello. JCarver. What's that mean? They're like linking up. Duh. It's the power of Jacob is making us, you know, level out. That's it. JCarver, who's Jacob? You have to watch Lost. That's you know, too many questions in one day. You can't be like a bird. You have to be like a sponge, you know? Just soak the information up. You know? Yeah, if you don't want to be the worst thing in the world is to be bird status. You know, we're just like chirping constantly, you know, not just making too much noise, not listening, not hearing. You don't want to be bird status. You want to be sponge status. It's just true. I've been trying to tell you guys for years, through various mechanisms. I've been trying to help you guys out there. So ace queen, pretty sweet hand here to raise under the gun. Seems like 150 is okay. I actually think I'm going to check back here. You guys know I love to bet, but I think in this spot, I think I'm going to just knuckle back. You know, we can turn queens and kings and tens and aces and, you know, nines and things. So those are all cool cards to turn. And I feel like if we check back if we bet every single time, eventually people get suspicious of us. And times like this actually is kind of cool because our hand looks like ace high. Because if we didn't have ace high, we might bet flop. So I actually think that I actually kind of like raising this turn. Now, I don't think that he is like super likely to just like insta fold if he has a jack, or definitely not if he has an ace, or definitely not if he has better. But I think actually sometimes he will just end up folding if he has like 2 7s or like, and actually we get value out of hands that are like low clubs, stuff like that. So I feel like I very rarely make that turn play where I raise to 8 over a $3 bet, having check back on flop, especially with our exact hand. I like almost never play it that way, but this hand just seemed like it was too good. I just could not do it. And now here we are on the river. So to me, I don't know what this means because it doesn't really make any sense. First of all, we're getting over 3-1, which probably means I'm calling because math is quite the thing. So, we beat club draws 4-5, whole bunch of other nonsense, jacks that are now bluffing, and let's be honest, what does he have? Like, if he has ace 5, is he really just betting $10 on the river? Why wouldn't he just check? Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. He could do that, of course. It's definitely possible, but, that seems kind of bizarre. So let's put in $10 and see what he has. Hopefully we win. Yeah, I mean, definitely it definitely makes sense, but, he's just the kind of player that apparently is like, it's fine. He played the hand on fine. He got paid $10. Like, he did nothing wrong. We're going to call here. We check back on flop, which is kind of like the other hand. We're playing a little bizarrely, but going to be calling here. Hopefully we win, but it's, I guess, possible we do not. I think that actually wasn't a great bet on the river with the ace high, just because, wow, same hand that he just had. Purely because ace high beats some of the hands I check back with, like jack 10 and, some of the other draw types of hands I check back with. So when you bet, like, am I folding better than ace 8 there? Probably not. Am I calling with worse than ace 8 there? No, don't think that's happening. So, I don't love that bet there on the river. Over here on the right table, I don't have a feeling that this guy has just got like king queen here too often. You know what I mean? Sometimes I love to re-raise with hands like this. Like, this is like the hand to go to war with because we're worst case 2-1 against him if he has kings, and if he ever folds, that's great. If he has ace king, we're basically 2-1, which is okay. I actually think, but this guy just doesn't seem like the type that's gonna just like rip it in with like nothing. You know what I mean? So I think we just fold. Maybe that's slightly bad, and that's not something I very, very often would just rip that all in right there. But I feel like that's probably not the best case to do it. So we put in $10 we put in $18 on the turn in the river there against him. I guess if we had just bet flop, maybe he just folds. But with the exact sequence of things, it was a sequence of sadnesses, right? It was like we had to check back flop, and then we had to turn an ace, and then we had to decide to raise, and then the river had to become a king, and then he had to bet. All those things had to happen for us to lose the money that we had, that amount of money that we lost that hand. So kind of hilarious sequence there. So in this hand, I raised to $1.50, and Mr. Beaumont made it $3.50 in the big blind, and now is betting out on the flop here. I feel like I don't hate just folding right away, but I think calling is okay as well. We still beat hands like ace queen, ace jack, maybe 2 queens and 2 jacks. We'll just knuckle on turn. And if they don't, we just fold. And if they do, we bet like $5.50, something like that here. And hope our opponent makes a folding mistake that would be good for us. If he bets, we just fold. If he checks, we bet. If he folds, we win. Those are the options. Those are the options. So we're up $30 on this table, and we're stuck $19 over there. So we're up like $11 right now. The trains are rolling. That's the train right there, rolling. Unfortunately, my arm stops at some point. So the train doesn't go very far. If you're playing Ticket to Ride, European version over here, you're in Barcelona trying to go to Kiev. It's very hard on the SS Somerville, or however they distinguish train lines. I know it's not SS because that's steamship. So I don't know. I'm not a train engineer. I feel like this season we've been we've really kind of cleared up a lot of things. Like, I'm not a historian, I feel like I said sometime. I feel like we really went over a lot of the things that I'm not. So anyway, in this hand, I'm not just calling. So, oh, JCarver, you're such a card. Anyway, making it $9 here. Not going to fold. I guess I could make it a little bit less, actually. This was not a precision raise size. This was I raise this much. Whatever this is. I just flicked it out there. Did pick up the $1.25, $2.75, the $4. That's right. It feels so good. $4. Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. 4 sweet, sweet, sweet dollars. Once again, I didn't keep track of when I started this video, which is becoming a bad habit of mine, despite having like 19 ways to prevent me from not checking. But so I once again have to kind of like feel out when we're at the halfway mark. But this time I am going to play a 2-part session. So we'll have an extra, at least another half an hour of trying to make some sweet, sweet bucks here. With any luck, we'll make that happen. Pretty big pot on the right table, 3-handed to the flop. Looks like our friend over there with the heart sign has pieced out. Thanks for playing, bud. All right. Some new contenders. I recognize now these two guys, jacks up, this dodge guy. I think that's about it, though. Gonna make a bit of a nitty fold in the cutoff with ace-5 offsuit there. Certainly would be fine to open, but against a guy that has $10 we've never seen before, I feel like everyone thinks I'm always loose. You know, they always think I'm loosey-goosey Somerville again, coming at it, just re-raise, you know, no big deal. So, oh, hey there. Maybe this time they'll think loosey-goosey Somerville is back at it again. $1.50. I could have just made it $1. Hopefully I'm not going to regret making it $1.50. All right, off to the flop we go. It seems I've collected the 3rd ace for my pile here. That's cool. So, given that today is like, you know, Wacky Wednesdays or whatever it is, I'm going to just check back. Let's see a turn card dealer. Let's hope he turns something. That's right. Little JCarver. Tricky, 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 tricky. If he bets, we just call. Could raise, of course. But let's just call. Fine. I don't always do this. I raise this turn card fairly frequently, but let's just call for now. Okay, so good news. We have the nuts. Best possible hand, right? There are no straights available, so we have top set. That's cool. Our opponent has checked, though, which is less cool, given that we have the nuts. What can we bet? For 20? Somewhere in that range seems good. All right. For the stoners. Smoke on that. Over here we have queen high, so I guess we're folding. Oh, come on. I have jack 10. He didn't believe me. Good. Good not believing me over there, gotta say. Got to say. So I won't be reloading unless they take all of my money. Will not be reloading unless they take all of my dollars. Gonna be making $1 and a penny on the left table over here. Everybody just collapses around to the blinds. It's great news for us in position with a hand that is very pretty. Flop the 3 straight. And some overcards to second pair. Yep. $1.50 seems okay. I again don't feel like I feel like Mr. Beaumont might feel like we're kind of like smacking him around a little bit, even though we've had it like every single time. So I'm a little less in love with this bet, but I still think that on a queen 7 deuce board, he's going to be, I mean, it's pretty Swiss cheesy. You know, it's pretty hard for him to really hit that too hard. So I like the bet there generally. I have a feeling we're right around the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to wrap this video up probably in the conclusion of this orbit, and with any luck, I'm not too far off about the timing, and then we'll obviously just continue right straight through to tomorrow. Pretty good flop here for us, so we could bet out, you know, lead out like 50 cents, $1, something like that. People don't typically tend to fold. Actually, let's try that. I like that. I was going to check, but I actually think against $9. We just want to kind of make the pot... You must have 2 pair. I fold. Sorry, I forgot he was an alien that could like read our mind and just know what we have. If I knew he could read our mind, I would have checked. Although I guess that wouldn't have helped. Stupid JCarver, you don't know shit about aliens. All right, first of all, I'm not sure why this voice has been so prevalent in this video. Maybe next video that voice will be just gone out of here. I thought it would maybe get him excited. We put out a 50 cents and then he just like trips over himself in excitement and somehow, you know, gets himself involved in some hoodwinks that he shouldn't be, and you know. I'm going to try to win this pot here. 50 cents gets it done. That's right. That's right. Single dollar sniper JCarver over here. Just that's it. Sorry. There we go. Much better. Sniped a 6 over here on the right table. That's pretty cool. I'd like to wager $1.21 that I have the best hand. 1.21 gigadollars is what I decided to bet here. So Not going to fold just yet. I think we could raise if we wanted to. We could just ship it in his face right here and now. It can't be too bad. If I was playing on my own JCarver money, I think shoving would be okay. Because we're playing kind of a little bit more like a tournament, I think calling is okay. And let's see what happens from here. So we start with a check. Check back is probably decent news for us. King on the river is also seeming like decent news for us. Gonna start with the check, although we could lead. He could bet like $2, and he might even like call us with like 6-7 or 6-8, you know, something like that. And worst case scenario, we blocked him from betting more than that. So if we checked this river, he's probably not betting. He's probably not checking with a queen, but he's also probably betting more than $2. So I actually feel like I really like our river bet there because sometimes he calls us with worse, right? He very rarely has zero, like nothing, right? Like he very rarely has no pair needs to be checked to in order to bet, right? That happens pretty rarely. So I think leading is actually kind of cool there because you bet out $2 and it just like stops him from betting more. So I kind of like that there. Maybe we could have even bet like 175 and had even a better price. So something to chew on while the next episode's a brewing for you. So we're gonna wrap this episode up right after these hands are completed. Well, not even. We have just this last one. And unfortunately not a super exciting hand, but hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. I believe we are like right about even right now. We're up $30 on the left table. We're stuck $30 on the right table. So hopefully the evenness will not continue. Hopefully we'll either run it up or not. Can we defend this? You'll have to tune in next time to see if I defend this. Anyway, thanks so much for watching as always, guys. Don't forget, runup.com. Get yourself a t-shirt. Come on, go do it. I'll see you guys back for more very soon. Peace. Why, JCarver? Why? Why don't you just reload like everybody else? You guys are the producers of this show. You don't even realize it, and you're horribly underpaid. The more you know. Somebody texts you twice. They're like basically asking you to just, give them the business. So it's just rude not to. Do what you want. Ooh, that's the wrong voice. I guess we're putting in a red bird. Oh no.